Dre all day.
Dre Baldwin, balloverseas.com, the overseas basketball blueprint. Having game doesn't mean anything. Now, that's kind of tongue-in-cheek. Having game means something. You got to have some game you want to play. Any game you want to get in, you got to have some ability to do the thing, right? What I mean when I say having game means nothing is, it's kind of like the analogy, if you ever heard the story of two people running away from a bear. If there's a bear chasing you and another person, or a rabid dog chasing you and another person, being fast doesn't really matter, right? The fast that you need to be fast in two ways. Number one, you better be faster than the dog, because if the dog's faster than you, or the bear is faster than you, they're going to catch you, and it's a wrap for you probably. Or you need to be faster than the other person you're running with, because if the bear catches them first, then they're going to be feasting on them and not worrying about you, and you could possibly get away. So when I say having game means nothing, what I mean is having game in a vacuum means nothing. You need to have more game than the people you're competing against. So you don't have to have more game than everybody in the world. You need to have more game than the other players in that gym with you who are also trying to get the same job that you're trying to get. Whether that's right now when you're playing in college, whether it's the next exposure camp you go to, if you go to a pro team, they offer you a tryout, you need to be better than the players that you're competing against in order to get your job, because everything's going to be relative in this game. If you're a small forward, you ain't got to be better than LeBron or Kawhi Leonard or Greek Freak or Scottie Pippen. You need to be better than whoever that team is also considering for the small forward position roster spot on their team this upcoming season. This is a competitive field, a very competitive field, highly competitive, because there are a finite number of jobs. This is a dream type of job. Any player who plays overseas will probably tell you it's a dream job to play overseas, because you're traveling the world, you're getting paid to play basketball. Everything is pretty much paid for. You don't really have any expenses unless you decide to add expenses. Like you want to, let's say you want to bring your family over, but often the team will pay for even that setup. Your food is pretty much paid for, your housing is paid for, whatever type of travel you need to do in the place that you're at, that's for the most part paid for. Your flights are paid for to go back and forth from home. You ain't really got no expenses. You could just put all your money away. This is a great, and you're playing basketball for a living. We didn't even get to that yet. You're getting paid, you're traveling the world, you don't have any expenses, and your job is to play basketball. I mean, is there a better job than that? I'll help you out. No, there is no job in the world, and I'm an entrepreneur now, full-time entrepreneur. This job is not better than being a pro basketball player. It's a lot more work. It takes a lot more time. It is not always as fun. And basketball ain't always fun, but for the most part, I just explained the overseas basketball job. I ain't got to sell you on that. You know how great of a job it would be for you, even if you never had it before. And if you haven't had it before, go talk to somebody who has. They'll tell you how great of a job it is, even though it's not always easy. All that being said, you need to be better than your competitors. Whoever you're trying to get that job from, whoever else is going after that same job, you got to be better than them. Figure out a way to stand out. Figure out a way to be remembered. Figure out how you're going to get people to be talking about you and knowing your name, as opposed to talking about them and knowing their name. Them being the other people who are trying to get that same spot that you're trying to get. When you figure that out, understand this is all part of the sales and marketing process when you're trying to play overseas. When you figure that out, that's when you're going to start separating yourself from whoever your competition would be, to the point that they're no longer competition. Now you can move up to the next tier of people you're competing against, because there's always some kind of competition going on for anything in life where the getting is good. So in overseas basketball, everybody wants that job to play ball overseas. Every ball player wants to be able to say, I am a professional basketball player. So there will always be somebody competing for something. Even if it was no money in it, people will be competing for it, simply because they want to be able to say that. For our egos, our own egos, we want to be able to say it. And you add the money in, you're going to get even more people trying to do it or claiming that they could do it. There's always going to be some level of competition. What you need to figure out is not how to be better than everybody in the world, because you probably can't do that anyway. What you need to figure out is how do I market and promote and sell myself in such a way that I get remembered amongst the peers that I'm competing for right here, right now, today. Again, you ain't got to be better than everybody. You just got to be better than the people in that space. And then you can own that space, which means getting that job, getting that contract, being able to say on your Instagram, I'm a professional basketball player overseas. Your grandma could tell everybody. You can go to church and brag about it when you come home in the summer times. Y'all know what y'all do. This is the game. So make sure you learn how to separate yourself from whoever would possibly be your competition. That's the only time I tell you to pay attention to competition, is just figuring out how you stand out above them. All that being said, if you do not yet have my book, The Overseas Basketball Blueprint, I don't know why. Actually, I do know why. I know why you don't have it, because I didn't tell you about it. So let me tell you right now. This is a 237-page book that I wrote for any ball player who wants to play overseas and doesn't know where to begin. If you don't know anything about agents, about exposure camps, about the money, about how to actually get seen, about how do I even get a team to notice me, or how do I even find out where teams are at, you don't know anything about overseas basketball. Maybe you know some things, but there's some other stuff you still need to know. Maybe you think you know everything, but you still don't have a job. You need to read this book. It's called The Overseas Basketball Blueprint. 237 pages, even for the player who knows nothing, even for the player from a D3 like I was. You can play overseas. It is possible. I did it. There's a bunch of other players who've done it, and you're going to be the next one who does it. The book's already paid for. The book's free. All you do is cover shipping, small shipping charge. Go to balloverseas.com. We got 3 other books there. One on the business side, one on agents, one on exposure camps. You can get all 4 if you want. We'll make you an offer for that. You can get just this one if you want. We got the audio. We got the digital. Everything that you need. All right, we got it all covered. All right, I told you. I know what I'm doing here. balloverseas.com. Get this book. Tell us where to ship it. We will ship this book worldwide, anywhere in the world. We got airplanes. We got post offices. We got UPSs and FedExes. We can ship this book anywhere in the world. If you don't have it, get it. balloverseas.com. Work on your game. Dre, all